What is going on, everybody? John with Refinery Fragrances back for another video. Today I am going to be bringing you guys a spring list. I haven't done a list video in a minute, but I figured with the weather getting warmer outside, I wanted to give you guys some recommendations and what I'll be wearing for spring, and I have 7 of them for you, so let's talk about them. Before we dive into the list, if you are new to the channel, or maybe you're not new to the channel, but you have yet to hit the subscribe button, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. It goes a long way in helping the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications for all of the future uploads. You might notice we have a different look today. I'm filming on a new iPhone because my camera is not working. So I'm either gonna get a new camera, or I'm going to get this iPhone. I'm filming on my wife's iPhone, so shout out to her for lending this to me. But I feel like this looks pretty dang good. Let me know what you think down in the comments, but do I like it better than my camera? I don't know, looks pretty good to me. So for those of you new to the concept of switching your fragrance for a specific season, I just want to give you a little bit of a prelude here to this video. So a lot of us people in the fragrance community, we switch fragrances based on the weather that's outside. So for me personally, if it's warm outside, I'm gonna gravitate to something that's a bit fresher, not as heavy or sweet. I just go for something that's maybe light, fresh, fruity, floral, musky, things like that for the warmer months. And with spring kind of being an in-between season, like it's not too hot and it's not too cold, I like to recommend things that are fresh but also have a depth to them and kind of like a bolstered base, if you will. So things that are like patchouli or sandalwood or spices like cardamom. I like those things in my spring fragrances as long as there is enough freshness to welcome the warm weather in, and so that you're not choking anybody out as it starts to get warmer. Without further ado, let's hop into the list. This is in no particular order, by the way. This is not ranked from my least favorite to my favorite. It's just some fragrances that I'm gonna be wearing in spring and that I recommend to you guys. So starting off the list, we have a designer fragrance, which doesn't happen often on this channel. Just with my taste, I've smelled so many things in my fragrance journey, if you will, that my taste has gravitated towards, you know, maybe a bit more niche fragrances. Like I love kind of just avant-garde, daring, artistic perfumery, and sometimes designer fragrances don't quite do that, which I totally respect, and I like designers. It's just in my collection, that's what I own. But we got one. Prada L'Homme by Prada there we go, is a fragrance that has been in my collection for a few years now, and I really love this scent. I think it's really well done. It centers around neroli and violet. There's some cardamom in here and carrot seed, and so there's some spice in there. There's sandalwood and amber, I believe, in the base of this, and it's really, really well done. Sorry, it takes a second to focus in there, but it's really well done. And it's something that is very fresh, very clean, but it's not that kind of shower gel type fragrance. It's very sophisticated. There's a bit of powderiness to this. It smells upscale and luxurious, like a really, really nice masculine soap. So this is perfect for when the weather starts to heat up. I'm really loving wearing it and have been enjoying wearing it for the past few years during the springtime. Again, that is Prada L'Homme by Prada. Coming up next is a fragrance from a company that is based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is a fragrance that I picked up in December, and I had been patiently or impatiently awaiting the warmer weather so that I could pull this out and enjoy it for when I feel like it's meant to be enjoyed. I'm talking about Sudute by Perfumeology. This fragrance is really, really nice. I love tea-based fragrances. I love long-lasting fragrances. So when you put something like a tea-based fragrance and it's long-lasting, it's a winner for me. You know, you have things like the tea that's in here. You have green mango. You've got some lychee that's in this, but you also have things like nutmeg and cinnamon and some spices to kind of give it a nice edge. I've just been really enjoying wearing this. It's a parfum concentration, so no problems with performance whatsoever. And you know, you reach for fresh fragrances, and not all fresh fragrances last a tremendous amount of time. Anything I keep in my collection, I like it to really last. So a lot of these on my list are going to be pretty long lasting, and Sudute is no exception to that. That is the next one on the list. Sudute by Perfumeology, really great for spring. I'm going to be wearing it a lot. Check it out. Up next on the list, we have a brand new release from the company BDK Parfums. I think you probably know what I'm talking about if you are familiar with niche perfume. I'm talking about Gris Charnel Extrait by BDK Parfums. This fragrance is fantastic. I mean, if you like the original has that classic cardamom, fig, sandalwood, creamy type of a feel. That takes this and just amplifies it. So this is insanely long lasting. It's a bit darker. This is the darkest one on my list. Maybe pushing the boundaries of a warm weather fragrance for sure. But I think, you know, with the added fig and that touch of fruitiness that's in here, I think there's enough freshness to kind of make it appropriate for specifically spring nights. If you're going out to a bar, a club, date night, going out with friends, whatever, this is a great like night out type of fragrance in the spring. You know, it's an extrait concentration, so really intense performance, which you would expect from an extrait. And I've just been really loving it. When it heats up on your body and it gets a little bit warm out, there's something magical about this scent, and I am really enjoying it. You know, at first sniff, again, I think, you know, you might think that it's more geared towards fall and winter, and I guess if I had to pick the number one appropriate season, it would probably be fall and winter, but this is a new release. I just got it, so I'm wearing the heck out of it, and I figured I would recommend it to you guys for spring as well. Check it out. That is Gris Charnel Extrait by BDK Parfums. Next up on the list is a newer offering from the company Eccentric Molecules. I picked this up recently. Actually, a friend of mine, Colton, shout out to Colton, gave me this fragrance, and I've just really been enjoying it recently. It is called Molecule 05 by Eccentric Molecules. I hope I can remember by the time I'm done speaking about this fragrance what the aroma chemical that they're using is. I keep forgetting. I think it's cashmerean. Or an iteration of cashmerean, but it just has this really nice woody, slightly green, very dimensional feeling to this. For only being one note, to have this much dimension to a scent is pretty impressive. So I get some greenness, I get some woodiness, kind of something like damp earthiness to it as well, but it still has that kind of slight pencil shaving type of a feel that Molecule 01 has. So if you like Molecule 01 and Molecule 02, if there's ever to be a fragrance that's darker in the Eccentric Molecules line, this would lean just a little bit darker than some of the other offerings, especially it's on the way other end of the spectrum from Molecule 04. I felt like that was very bright and tart and refreshing and floral. This is, yeah, like kind of damp and green and earthy, and I really am enjoying it, and it is perfect for the springtime. You can kind of go crazy on the trigger with this. You can't do too many sprays because you're not going to choke anybody out, but this isn't as highly complimented as some of the other fragrances in the line, but still, it's a compliment getter. I've received a couple compliments wearing it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and recommend that you check out Molecule 05 by Eccentric Molecules. All right, so last up on the list, but certainly not least, is a fragrance that you probably wouldn't expect to see on this list necessarily. But you know, I maybe it's my taste is kind of weird, but I'm just loving this in the warmer weather. Again, this is kind of an all year round. I feel like a lot of spring fragrances that I would consider spring leaning do have the potential to be an all year round scent because it does have the freshness, but it also has the depth. This is no different. This is Lassaab Roses or Lassaab Roses by Louis Vuitton. If anybody knows, I think it's Lassaab Roses, and the S is silent on the end. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. This is an absolute stunner from Louis Vuitton. Gotta love rose. I really enjoy rose in fragrance. I've come to really love it. I remember just getting into fragrance, just not really loving rose a ton. I just kind of thought whatever I had smelled that contained rose kind of smelled a bit dated to me and just kind of overly feminine, kind of like, it smelled like a grandma, kind of, which is not what you're going for when you're wanting to wear fragrance to attract others. But this is just a clean, sharp, sophisticated, glassy rose fragrance with saffron and oud in the base. And I know you're thinking like, John, oud for warmer weather? Like, you know, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. This has such a airiness and a freshness to it. It almost has, I don't want to give too many descriptors away because I'm going to review this and I want to make sure that I save some adjectives for the review. But it just has an amazing, clean, woody rose quality to it. Kind of like Delina by Parfums de Marly, but it's simplified. It's a bit more unisex. It's not quite as feminine. This has a nice masculine appeal to it. But it just has the performance, I mean, turned to 11. I mean, this thing is an animal, and just the compliments are crazy. The compliments roll in. So if you're a big fan of rose oud combinations, and maybe you're not a fan of rose oud combinations, let me say this. If you're not a fan of rose oud combinations, I think you should check this out too, because this has a much lighter and fresher and kind of like that. It feels like there's a lot of ISOE Super in this, so it has that really nice, clean, pencil shaving, glassy, woody feel to it that doesn't feel too heavy, like most rose oud combinations. You're not gonna find like sweeter, like benzoin is not gonna be in here. You're not gonna find this like really dense, sweet profile. And for that reason, I think that it's perfectly versatile for the warmer weather. And man, for springtime, this is just something I'm gonna be wearing a ton of, and even probably into the summertime, especially in the evenings. It's a showstopper for sure. Lassaab Roses by Louis Vuitton. Check it out, let me know what you think. That is all from me, guys. Those are my 7 fragrances that I've been wearing the most of this spring. I would love to hear from you. Have you guys tried any of these fragrances, and what are some of your favorites? I would love to get a conversation started down in the comment section, and I will see you guys soon.